penguin covered with mud.
I'm not as good. Oh my god. That was good, Nico. That was good. That was clutch.
As soon as you see the green doors, your audio is fading in. While the title's up, there's still no audio. So I'd say 90% of what Jeremy says does not make it through. But I think more than half of whatever was just said did. Hey, internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Welcome to Paradise Academy, Season 2 of our Welcome to Paradise, Michigan Kids on Bikes campaign. This is episode 28, Picking Up the Pieces. And in just a couple of moments, we will have a quick, we'll have a recap and we'll bring things up to speed. But as you can see by the lack of any space, any guest window below me, last week was our guest star Craig's last episode with us.
The left side of my window feels naked.
But you can go check out those VODs on youtube.com/miniterraindomain and relive all of the TJ excitement to your heart's content. Super quick announcements. We've got a couple other shows you can tune in for soon. We'll figure out when we're going to record and air the finale of Scribes and Scrolls. That is entirely on me, not on anybody else. I've heard back from a couple people and I've just been very busy, but we will get that out there. And then we will start, we'll have that final episode, and then we'll take a couple weeks, and then a brand new show will be taking that place. Every other Tuesday night, though, I believe as of now, it's another almost 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks before we return with our next Sky Metal Iron Gods. We had to miss a session, which when that happens, that means we're basically going a month between games. But that's on Tuesdays. We had a pretty cool interlude with mine and M's characters, kind of going back a year to when they first met. So that was a lot of fun. We have, if you look over in the upper right hand corner up above Tamiko and M, you will see there are 42 domain pops. Domain pops are +1 to fun. The players can use domain pops to add +1 for however many domain pops they spend to any dice rolls, with very few exceptions. Or they can spend 5 domain tokens to make themselves or any other player roll on the D100 Mystery Grab Bag table, which happened in our last session. Chad had to roll on the table, and we will be resolving that roll tonight. But the only way the players can get those is if you subscribe, resubscribe, gift a subscription, cheer 500 bits, tip $5, support through Ko-fi. Any of those things, every $5 essentially earns a domain pop. And it's just a way that you can have an impact on the game. We have, okay, Tamiko looks like the one who's typing in commands. There's one for ! audience and one for ! safety tools. Those will pop up from time to time. I'll let you go ahead and read those. I just want to say, we use session zeros and safety tools here. We use the traffic light system to make sure everybody at the table stays safe. And we highly encourage you to use safety tools at your own games, whether you are playing with friends you've known for 30 years, strangers, you're playing a private game at home, or streaming online. The safety of you and your friends is important. Use those safety tools, establish those lines and veils, and ensure that everybody has fun around the table. The last thing I'm going to say before we get into the game proper here is just a reminder that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference, whether you believe it or not. It is true. One of the hardest parts about struggling sometimes is knowing where to turn. How do you get the help you need? We try to make it as easy as possible here. All you have to do is type !help, and a couple of URLs will pop up. They'll also show up at the bottom of the stream from time to time. But those URLs are findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those sites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I would like to welcome you all to Paradise, Michigan, and Paradise Academy. We're going to do things a little bit different, actually. Instead of a full-on recap, the very last thing that we saw happen was as several of the characters gathered in room 8311 XHT, they converged on the jealous mirror. Most notably, TJ carrying Jessica in a handheld shaving mirror, and Anne, who had been transported through a door from, with the assistance of Jake the Fugitive, winding up in that very same room. A very complex and unusual battle began to take place that ultimately wound up with Anne collapsing into the jealous mirror and sinking into its depths. But unfortunately, so too did TJ. In this aftermath, as Jessica, you have just been, after what seems to you like an extremely long time, and when you're alone in a mirror world, a couple of months is a long time, you're finally free. But the person that helped you, TJ Adkins, the person who risked himself and ultimately sacrificed himself, has sank out of view below the surface of the mirror. Though you did see that he was wearing one half of one of those best friends necklaces, the heart with his initials on it, and slipping out of his hand as he slipped below the glass was the other half with JAS on it. I would like you all to visualize for a moment that as Laz and Rosie, you are the only other ones in this scene witnessing it. The mirror is beginning to react with, instead of this blackness showing, it's almost showing like a Milky Way and beyond, almost like nebulae are beginning to appear. It's like you're witnessing the birth of a million billion stars, and it's being reflected back and forth from mirror to mirror to mirror. It is happening in slow motion. In this moment, Jessica, as you are beginning to pick yourself up off the floor, holding on to this piece of necklace, you see nearby, almost hidden under the velvet red covering that had been pulled aside from what was thought to be the jealous mirror, this instead piece of secondhand junk, as it were. You see a notebook, like one of those, almost like one of those moleskin type notebooks. And you recognize it from your time over the last couple months conversing with TJ. This is TJ's notebook. He must have dropped it at some point. And I imagine you pick this notebook up as you are sort of picking yourself up off the floor, and you see there's several entries, almost like a diary, written in this notebook. And as these nebulae and stars are coming into being and disappearing, and whatever is happening, is we almost see this camera moving around in slow motion as Rosie and Laz are just kind of watching what's happening. Jessica, you see written in TJ's words, and you can hear in TJ's voice.
Dad wants me to get to know Victoria, find out more about her parents and their whereabouts. There's a party at the Staplers coming up. She likes Billy Stapler, and she wants me to go to the dance with her to make Billy jealous. I told her I was kind of talking to someone already, and I didn't want to mess anything up. I had a cut on my finger from football practice, and she sucked the blood off my finger. Ew. Jessica told me about her friends tonight. Some of them have powers like us. Billy is a werewolf. Is Victoria a vampire? That blood thing was weird as hell. I went to Traverse City to have the heart necklace engraved. I had to borrow money from my grandma because I didn't have enough. I hope Jessica likes it and doesn't think it's too much. Not gonna lie, pretty nervous. Dad wants me to attend the Stapler party with him, so I have to get my dress uniform ready. I'm sure he'll have a white glove inspection before we leave. I'm supposed to go to the dance and keep an eye on Victoria, Victor, and Billy. Not sure why. More details to follow, I guess. So I wanted to surprise Jessica, so I rented that movie Goonies, and I bought her a copy of Teen Magazine. I had to try to explain to Carson why I moved my TV and VCR into the bathroom, though. Teen Wolf was on the cover of the Teen Magazine this month. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna get a cute, charming guy who's in school that happens to be a werewolf. Nope. Don't want her thinking about pure werewolves. So I got last month's issue that had the two Corys on the cover instead. Much better. So she was excited that I set the movie up for her. During the movie, I noticed that her hand was near mine, so I tried to move my hand over to hers to kind of hold her hand. But of course, it was the part where the chunk kid meets Sloth. As our hands touch in the mirror, I heard a very loud, "Ew." I was so embarrassed. She smiled at me and laughed. I think she knew, because she teased me about being so red-faced. So stupid sometimes. So Dad said Carson and I were supposed to cause a distraction at the party for some reason. I saw him packing a bag that had wooden stakes, a silver sword, and he loaded silver bullets into the pistol and he packed it into the car. Is he some kind of monster hunter or something now? He's acting weirder and getting more demanding that everything be just right. I hate when he gets nervous about things being just perfect. Jessica described my dad's lab as where the mirror might be. I have to find a way to get to the lab, I think. We figured out that Jessica and I could talk in different mirrors. Good, because I hate having to wait to talk to her all day. At the party, Anne caught me losing control with Carson. She may look like Jessica, but they couldn't be more different. When I was yelling at Carson, she smiled like she was enjoying every second of it. Her smile is so full of hate and anger. It's like she enjoys watching people suffer. It's like the polar opposite of Jessica. Everything I've learned about her, when I talk to Jessica, it leaves me craving more conversation. She calms my fears and always knows exactly what to say to me. When she gets nervous, she sighs very lightly and twists her hair. When she smiles, she tilts her head ever so slightly and has this brightness in her eyes. When she really laughs, she has this little snort, but I always look away and I cough so that she doesn't know that I noticed it. I spent my entire day thinking about her, and I can't wait to talk to her again. She's so easy to talk to, but the weird part, that every time, before I start to talk with her, my heart starts racing and I'm so ridiculously nervous. I'm really starting to think that I'm falling.
And that's where the entry ends. Abruptly.
Oh my god, no!
Something interrupted TJ as he was writing this final message, and flipping through the next few pages, seeing if he had written anything else. You just see blank pages, and then it falls open to the very back panel of the notebook, where you see on the inside cover that there is a small piece of paper taped. A fortune from a fortune cookie. Above it is TJ's handwriting. I always ask a question before I open one of these. My question: what does Jessica's near future tell us? The fortune reads lucky numbers 12, 72, 10, 69, 83, 11. And below that, it says, please roll on the D100 mystery grab bag table.
That's awesome. That is so bitchin'.
And that is the end of, that's Craig's final epilogue. He wanted me to read all of that online. I'm like, dude, just come over here. We'll record it. So, it was Craig's desire to spend 5 tomes before he left and make Jessica and her first moments back have to roll on the D100 table. So, Em, I will need a D100 roll from you, courtesy of TJ/Craig.
Craig, god damn, man.
Why are you taking away pops if you're spending tomes?
Aha!
Shut the...
You know what I meant.
I used.
Oh, I got an 82.
Oh, that's way high up there.
Welcome back, Jessica. Now you're gonna die.
Ed, I used
Ready to lose a
pops in the
limb.
other game the other night. I realized
Did you?
after the fact. Yeah.
So,
Here we go.
82 is, I think it's a little appropriate given the ordeal that you've been through. This particular one is definitely on the bad side, but not ultimately super terrible. You have rolled weakest link. You are at your limits. Your next brawn check will be made with a D4. That's it.
Yeah.
That's super fair. That's fair.
So,
Appropriate.
with that, before we cut away, aside from the meta D100 roll, Jessica, what's going through your mind as you're looking around and you're seeing this literal cosmic display of the mirror? You're seeing Laz and Rosie there, and you don't see TJ
Come
and
on.
Anne, and you're back. What's going through your mind? What are you doing?
I don't think Jessica believes it. She's been in, I mean, this, putting people in solitary confinement is a form of, psychological torture. So she is just, I don't think that she would even really register that she's out. She's waiting to blink again and to have the phantoms of her friends disappear as they have time and time again when she was in that place. She's waiting for their voices to dissipate, to fall into echo of her memory, to fade away. And so she blinks a few times, shakes her head, and if anyone is looking at Jessica, I mean, very clearly the Jessica that went into the mirror is not the Jessica that is out. There's a certain exhaustion that covers Jessica's face, and a kind of a wisdom or a worldliness that is beyond the years of a 16-year-old girl. As she looks around, if she catches anyone's eye, she would try to smile and to, but you just see it's all just very overwhelming for Jessica.
Rosie is just screaming from the doorway. Like, I think we established, like, Rosie was trying to go in the room, but Laz was, like, keeping her back. I think Rosie is just, like, screaming for Jessica to get her ass out of the room.
And I think that sound comes to you, Jessica, as you the world around you speeds up. You sort of see Rosie, Laz kind of pulling at Rosie, and Rosie kind of slow motion going, come on. And then it starts to come up, come on. And then you hear full speed, full volume. You can hear Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica, move your ass!
Yeah, you see Jessica kind of snap out of it, and she rushes to the door.
And Rosie like looks relieved as like they all kind of like we're together, we're reunited, we did it, but we also got to get the fuck out of here because like alarms are still going, right?
Yeah, there's a quick like, oh, I'm so happy to see you, like, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. I hope you're okay. We gotta go.
It's absolutely red lights and klaxons going on. Em, I'm gonna need you to roll a D100 for me, please.
Oh no. Okay. 69.
Nice.
Nice.
I rolled a 27, so the horrible
That's one of
thing.
TJ's lucky numbers. Em should get a bonus.
It is. Well, the bonus is that the thing that might have happened is not going to happen. It was going to be a very bad, no good, rotten thing. So you are, I imagine, Rosie, you've grabbed hold of Jessica's hand, and the three of you are now running blindly through these halls. And as you whip around a corner, the three of you whip around the corner, and the camera sort of stays behind a moment, spinning to look at the wall and spinning back, where we see now Oak back in the area where you entered. And we'll call him Spaceman Oak, is having just pulled you in there, leaned you against the wall, and is sort of spraying this caulk on. The camera shifts just a little bit, and we see Billy standing there. Billy, you actually, literally like a minute or two before, were pulled into this very same space by Spaceman Oak. So you're in this space. As you see, from your point of view, Billy, he said, hold on a minute. He went out, and as the door opened, you caught a glimpse of Oak in a jumbled mess with literal handlebars of his bike sticking out of his chest. And you watched as this older man pulls Oak off of the handlebars, drags him in, closing the door behind him, and immediately uses this material on him, which does, Oak, take you from being in critical condition to you are now stressed. I'm actually going to throw it to Billy first, as you're seeing Oak be pulled in.
So I imagine Billy would totally, get into like a clear head, and if Spaceman Oak is dealing with the injuries that are the most life-threatening, he's going to be looking at what else is messed up, is damaged. He would definitely know typical first aid stuff, so he's going to try and help as best as possible if there's anything that can actually be done.
Do you have any skills that play particularly into healing aspects?
In my backpack, I have a first aid kit, and my trade is Scout, and I had always put that into my typical training. My trope is Scout.
So let's have you make a brains check.
15.
Yeah, that is well above the DC. Using your scout knowledge, your training, your first aid kit, the wounds that Spaceman Oak used, or rather repaired, were well beyond anything you could have done.
Right.
And even now, as the foam sort of settles in, the both of you can see where the wound is slowly. It's not super fast, but it is closing itself up. But he had some other scrapes and scratches and a pretty good gash on his one of his arms, and you are able to tend to that with that 15. In fact, you're able to take him out of the stressed condition.
I mean, I would also, be verifying, are there any, messed up bones or sprains, strains, what have you, so that, we've got somewhere to go. So he's, hopefully, trying to see if we can get him, mobile. I don't know who this other dude is. I mean, obviously we know, or we suspect he's another version of, Orson. But we don't know everything that's going on with all of his alternate versions. So
I will say that in checking him over for any breaks or anything like that, this is a case where, strangely, it seems that Oak's leg braces saved his legs from becoming broken. I think in tending to him, you might have to bend a couple of the pieces of the brace, sort of, straighten it out a little bit. But yeah, you're able to get an assessment that he's otherwise ambulatory.
So I'm sorry if I was going too fast there, Oak. Was trying to. It's a lot of stress right now.
You see that Oak takes a hand, and just takes a hand and just places it on yours and just pats it it's not your fault, man. I understand. We're trying to save our friend, and that's all that matters. You're really fast. You're really fast. And I got little legs, man, and I can't keep up. It's not your fault.
Sorry.
No, it's not. You're okay.
I pushed it too hard, and now we're dealing with this.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry I did that.
No, it's okay. And then I think I hope they're okay. Whatever's happening in there, I hope they're okay.
Spaceman Oak looks at his arm. He's not looking at a watch. He's looking at a panel that is on his arm, and it almost looks like the readouts. They look like something from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Those style of screens, and it's touch screen, and you can see as he looks at it, and then he kind of makes a couple touch slide, does a couple things, and he says, "Don't worry. The others are all right. They did what they came to do. And you should be able to catch up with them here shortly if you make the right choices."
What do you mean they did what they came to do? We're trying to get...
Billy, I cannot tell you any more than... I really shouldn't have told you as much as I have. I'm risking a lot, even being here and exposing myself, showing myself to you. Let me rewind.
Yeah, I
didn't expose myself. Phrasing.
All right. No.
I'm really risking myself here, but, well, I've got to look after myself sometimes. And he kind of reaches down and kind of ruffles your hair, Oak.
Hey,
all right. Speculation here, Oak. And I turn away from Spaceman Oak. Our bikes are always crazy in this place.
Yeah.
They've shown up when we need them. So there's always a chance that when you need your bike again, it'll be fixed and it'll be ready to go. How about we just take it on foot from here and do the best we can?
He's actively looking at the shard of metal that is laying on some table over there.
Not even a table. You're in a hallway.
Yeah, in a hallway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally a bloody piece of
shard of
handlebar.
metal. I mean, I don't know how quick they'll be put back together, but yeah, sure. And then I think he looks to the spaceman Oak. He looks to Spoke and says, "Hey, I got a question too. So other versions of us were here, and then I made a decision, and then they weren't here. So, like now, how are you here? Because I thought that I did something, and then every one of them would be gone. Like I was going to be the only one.
When we made the decision to return after the lighthouse, that ended Dr. K and Hines.
Yeah.
You created a new timeline.
Okay.
So I'm you.
Part of that new timeline? Oh, okay.
I'm you in about right around 40 years.
Okay. I mean, that's. He kind of looks over. Spoke over and was like, "Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool, actually."
And like Billy said, your bikes will be ready when you need them.
Okay.
It usually, depending on how bad, and this time it's the damage to your bike's pretty extensive.
Mm-hmm.
It might take me a few days to get everything straightened out, but I'll have it returned to the timeline where you need it and when you need it.
Okay.
I gotta
He
go.
looks to. Yeah. He kind of like nods to Oak or Spoke.
I'm risking things being here, but
yeah,
I'm still here, which means things are still doing all right. Just make the right decisions. And he kind of grabs your shoulder, and then he turns, presses a couple buttons, and points his, almost like Iron Man, he points his hand out like this, and a light shoots out of the wall, or out of the hand, and hits the wall, and you see when it hits the wall, it goes, pew, and forms a portal. And he looks back at you, Oak, and then he looks at you, Billy, and he says, "You just keep taking care of each other." And then he ducks through the portal, and as soon as he goes through, it goes and pops away out of existence, leaving the two of you alone.
Oak is just sitting on the table, like a kid, just slack-jawed, watching this cool ass version of himself just be like, "All right, cool, I gotta dip." Bye. Like,
so I turn to Oak at that point in time, and I'm like, "All right, who are you? What the hell?"
If I knew, I would be able to make the cool ass decisions. Cause
okay,
that's
right.
Awesome.
So, teacher, scientist, pirate,
yeah,
spaceman.
Yeah, I'm a time traveler. I don't know how all this works yet, I guess, but apparently, like, I do. Like, at some point, I do. But
well, all right. So where are we?
He kind of looks around. Where are we in the? You said we're in some hallway somewhere.
You should actually recognize this from the first iteration.
Okay.
When you were in the laboratory, when you all were in the lab last time, Dr. K showed you a tunnel. It was a long tunnel that had pipes running alongside it and stuff, and it led out to the creek bed.
Yeah.
And led you guys all outside, and that was, I believe, that was when you saw the meteor crash.
Yeah.
Well,
okay,
you're in that same hallway because when you were riding your bikes and you disappeared into the wilderness, you went into that same creek bed.
Okay.
All right. So the last thing I remember was riding my bike, and then all of a sudden, Spoke pulled me here. Is that correct?
You basically arrived at this location, and Spoke basically, I think I mean call him Spoke.
Listen, it's the most
Spoke is
logical way.
It works.
You can call him Spoke or Smoke, Spaceman Oak.
Spoke grabbed you and basically said, "You need to get in here." and kind of shoved you through the door.
Okay.
And less than a minute later is when Oak had a horrible crash and he pulled him in. So that's all happened within the last 5 minutes.
Okay, perfect. I think as Oak kind of gets down from his from the table there, he like actually thinks about it and opens up his backpack.
Again, just as a reminder, I don't know where this table came from. You are in an empty hallway.
We're in an empty hallway. I didn't know if I was on a table because he was doing like...
Oh, no, he leaned you against the wall.
Oh, leaned me against the wall. Okay, perfect.
I just wanted to clarify, you're not in a room or anything. You're literally in a hallway.
I just wanted to verify that. Okay. All right. So as I get up from the floor, then I think he would then look into his backpack. And if I remember correctly, I should have a map that I drew in iteration 1 of this hallway. If it still stays with me through iteration 2.
Yeah. It's there.
Yeah, we have the stuff from our first iteration.
Okay, so he actually will pull it out. So okay, and like a 1980s mall map of America, like mall map. He's like, okay, so we're here, and so if we want to go back, then we got to go down this corridor here, go through this door, and then I don't know which room they're going to be in, but we'll be inside the laboratory, and we can find it out from there. This is kind of what we're looking at, and he kind of lays it out in front of Billy.
All right, so is it I honestly, as Ted, I don't remember how complex the complex is.
It's also drawn in Crown, so like
the complex is the kind of complex that when you make certain turns and you go back the way you came, those turns aren't always the same.
Okay, well, based off of the drawing and crayon or not, I imagine as detailed as I imagine Oak to be, even in crayon, it still came out pretty damn good. Is this something that I would be able to memorize or whatnot? Because I don't want to have to keep going back to the map.
If it matters, Jake made Chad roll for being able to recall the information to draw the map from memory, and Chad rolled very well.
Yeah.
Tamiko, thank you.
So yeah, Oak would be able to remember it no matter what, but he's pulling it out for Billy to be able to look at. If you want to memorize it too.
My thought pattern is I want to be ahead of you enough so that if there is a threat,
great,
I can deal with it and not have to protect you two.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not going to make you keep referring to the map. You guys have a map. Nonsense. We can just assume
yes.
You essentially have a crayon drawing of a mini map up in the corner.
It's in the hut. We have our hut now. We have our hut now.
As the two of you are heading off down this hallway with Billy in the lead, I wish I'd have thought ahead and prepared the proper music for this.
Oh no!
But
oh no!
This is a long hallway, and as I recall, the first time you went down it, you walked it for a good 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
You're going along this hallway, and Billy's taking the lead against you, or in front of you, Oak, and then you start to hear, behind you, you hear real faintly a sound. And it kind of, almost Doppler effect, like it's passing by, and then it fades out real quick, and as you glance back, there's nothing there. You hear it again, and I'm gonna have you make a brains check. I just want to see if this is a tiered success or a tiered check. I want to see how well you can recall what this tune is.
Okay. Oh, it's a tune.
Oh yeah, this is music that you're hearing.
The entertainer.
Oh. Okay, not bad. That's a 15.
It's actually, in hindsight, for the 80s, probably a good thing that I don't have this music, because as I recall, the music is actually racist. You hear old school ice cream truck music. There are some ice cream music tunes that are, I believe, derived from like minstrel shows.
My ice cream truck plays Popeye the Sailor Man. Should we just say it's Popeye the Sailor Man?
It's music that you recognize as that attributed to an ice cream truck.
Okay.
Okay.
And like I said, you hear it like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and every time you turn around, it's gone. About the third or fourth time, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and then it just stays. This sort of circus type music, almost this tune. And when you turn around, the hallway is no longer behind you. Instead, there is a room that you did not pass through. It's a large, like probably like 30 foot by 30 foot room, and impossibly in the middle of this room is a green ice cream truck. The hubcaps, they're brass. And plastered on the side of the ice cream truck is one of those posters, and right at the top you see this big old bomb pop. But it's not a bomb pop because it says right at the top, terrain treats, domain pops. +1 to fun.
What's all this shattered stuff in the ground? Oh, it's the fourth wall.
And that's where we're gonna cut over to our friend Coop.
Oh my god.
Now, Coop, I did not get a chance to look at your notes, and I 100% am having trouble remembering where we left Coop exactly.
Where we left Coop exactly is he had just finished locking the door per Jake the Miner's instruction, and watching the door melt back into the wall.
That's right.
Turning around, looking down the hallway and saying, "Here we go again," or something to that effect.
That's right. You are in the hallway with all the green doors with brass handles.
The first thing clever little Coop is going to do, clever D4 brains, just throwing that out there. The first thing clever little Coop is going to do is wants to try out one of these keys that Jake the Miner gave him. So he's going to look at the doors to see if he can see one that has a keyhole.
When you first glance at the door, there is no keyhole. But as you raise the key, the ring of keys up, a keyhole forms in the door.
And Coop just says, "I need to find my friends. I need to find Rosie." Rosie's the first person who came to his mind because he knew that Rosie and Laz are here.
Rosie, roll me a
Yeah.
D100.
Oh my god.
And send me the
Dice for this
result.
game. Got it. Okay. D100. Here it comes. 40.
Okay, well, you just said it out loud, but that's fine. I did say send it to me, but
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
that's fine.
40.
Cool. That's okay. We're all friends here. It's on our system. I
got
trust
too
you.
excited.
Roll a D100.
Wah. It's a 52.
I don't know why you're whining. You don't
Good.
know. You don't know what the spread is, what
I
you needed to
don't.
get, but you're literally only 12 away from what she
Seems
rolled,
pretty good.
which even in a 25% scenario is good.
Yeah.
You turn the key and open the door. And as you open the door, immediately you see red lights, blaring klaxons, and you see Laz run right past you, pulling Rosie, who is pulling Jessica. And they run right past you without even seeing you.
Oh, beans! And Coop's gonna run through the door, close it behind him because he's that kind of kid, and go running after them. Rosie, Laz!
You're
Jess-
actually closest to Jessica at this
Ann,
point.
Stop! He doesn't know it's Jessica.
That's right.
Wow.
You-
Do we hear him?
You all hear Coop's voice right behind you.
I turn around.
Closest to you, Jess.
You
I just
turn
like-
around and you just see the muddy little goblin holding on to a crowbar, like it's a
And wearing a dirty white Nintendo Power Glove.
And a power glove and like a little miner's helmet.
Oh yeah,
and,
he's
like,
got a miner's helmet with a light on. I want art of this.
I imagine he also has like half a sleeve of Oreos in his pocket because he 100% took some from Jake the Miner. And I look I'm like, Coop, how the hell did you get in here? Did you dig a tunnel or something?
Almost.
What? Oh, I want to hear all of it. I do, but we gotta go. We gotta find a way out right now.
Okay. Hey, while we're here, I have to find a guy.
I mean, side quests are not super high on my priorities here, but who?
We have to find Jake the original. Just trust me on this.
What? Do you know where he is? Do you know anything else?
No, I don't. And Coop's going to say, wait, I've got an idea. And he's going to reach out with his mind and say, paging Jake the original. Jake the original, where are you?
Paging Dr. Beat. Emergency.
I'm gonna need another D100 roll.
68.
Do a little
One under
bit, a
nice.
little math. 58.
That took me a second.
You keep reaching out, and you're getting no response.
Well, Coop, I mean, we can't make any promises. If we find him, we'll do whatever you need to do, but we gotta get out of here. And you notice that Rosie and Laz are both in like freaking prison clothes. Jess looks harried as fuck. Like, we're having a hard time. And so I kind of like look at Laz and I look at Jess and I'm like, what do you guys think? Should we just like start freaking
Coop,
throwing doors open or
Coop,
what?
make a brains check real quick.
Oh, sure.
Make that D4 brains check.
Uh-huh. You got it, dude. Oh, I explode.
Explosion!
I explode.
Whoa, two lucky
Explosion!
breaks.
I stop explode. So that's 8, 11.
Damn!
It's a D4. It's a 25% chance.
So
That's
you
pretty
know
fucking
that
good.
for you, it was the night before that you saw Anne last, when the two of you were running from the party. Anne is not dressed even remotely the same, nor does she look exactly the same.
Mm.
She looks like she's been through an ordeal, capital letters with a TM after it.
Oh, and after we got separated, did you find a way to get home? What happened to you?
Coop.
Why are you gesturing at me like that, Rosie?
You see, you see like this flash of like, not anger, but just kind of like fear or like sadness come across Jessica, but it quickly goes away as she smiles at Coop and is going to give him a big hug. She's, Coop, I'm so happy to see you.
What's this for?
I hug them too, but I do it in such a way that I have my face right next to Coop's ear, and I'm like, "That's Jessica. It's not Anne."
What? What did I miss?
A lot.
As you
What
say
did I
that,
miss when I was in the sinkhole?
as you say that, you say it incredibly loud as you're trying to be heard over the sound of the klaxons, which have suddenly stopped.
Oh.
And the lights,
Hole,
the lights-
hole.
the lights go boom, 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 and come full on normal white lights as the red lights stop flashing.
What the fuck? That's not good. I can't help but feel that's not good.
but it's better than the alarms, right?
I mean, it was driving me nuts, but that's neither here nor there. Like, I mean, it's only off because somebody thinks they found what they were looking for. And Rosie's looking around for cameras. What sound are you making, Jake? It's getting noise gated. Shit,
I hate that.
shit.
I make good sounds. I was trying to make the sound of a sound you've heard before approaching you from around the corner. Is the sound of high heels on a tiled floor. Walking at a slow pace.
I walk towards that sound and I'm fucking ready to fight. This is bullshit. Fist clenched, white knuckles. I'm pissed. And I like move Coop specifically like behind me.
As you go to move very suddenly in that direction, Laz puts a hand out to try to stop you.
I think Rosie is kind of a little freaked out and like without even thinking, she like hits it. Like she like hits his hand away. And then she like looks at him regretfully in the moment, but like it was just like an instinct. Like this whole experience has kind of fucked her up.
He just mutters under his breath, "This place sucks."
And Rosie would apologize, but it feels like there's no time. I think she would like post up like she was about to.
So are you now waiting for the sound to approach you?
I think so.
Okay.
She seems close enough, like she's gonna see us.
It only takes but a moment for Director Ashley Raven to come walking around the corner. She does not look disheveled. She does not look injured.
I hit her with a fucking bat.
And as she walks around the corner, immediately following her is Lieutenant Commander Adkins. And immediately behind them are about a dozen military personnel.
Coop hits pause on the power glove.
I have to think a second. Actually, I have to read.
Dude,
to go back and look at this.
That's awesome. Tamiko, good idea. I hope it works.
So one, well, I need you to make a grit check. Is what I need.
Okay. Grit.
Coop is so
Is-
gritty.
My D8. Hey, 6. I'd like to spend 2 pops to make it an 8.
Attaboy, don't forget about your stars.
2 stars to make it a 10.
Actually, 1 star would make it a 10. That adds a +2.
Yeah, 1 star adds a +2.
Hashtag math. Guess who just went
Okay.
back to
Did I not
school?
math that right? 6 plus 2 plus 2, right? That's 10.
6
So-
plus 2 plus 2 is 10.
I will tell you
Plus 2
that
plus 2 plus 1.
you don't know what that just did. But as the soldiers come around the corner, and they are holding rifles. They're holding like M16 rifles.
Oh, beans.
You hear, at least from a couple of them, you hear the rifle make a couple of their rifles make a weird click sound, and 1 or 2 of them kind of goes like this. You don't know what you did, but you did something.
Scatter!
Oh my god. Oh my god. Does Cooper immediately run when he says scatter?
Yep.
Attaboy.
It did not work well the last time.
No, it did not. No, it did not. But, oh my god. Okay. What does Laz do when Coop said scatter?
Look, I'm going to be honest here. I don't have his stats.
I understand, but
Well,
you can make
here's
a narrative
no.
decision.
I'm sorry. I wish I had his stats because I was going to say I'm going to be honest here. I think the first thing Laz is going to do is go for the nearest person, which is going to be the lieutenant commander, and he's going to kick him in the nuts.
My
that feels
God.
very true to Jeremy.
Yeah.
What's up, Em?
I have a question. Is where they're at, is that where we need to go out?
Well, I'll
feel like
say it's the way you were
probably.
going. They're blocking you from the direction you were going.
Narratively, that just seems like the way we would. I think Jessica would assume that is the way out if they are blocking that way. Jessica is going to grab Rosie, Coop, and hopefully one of them grabs Laz after he kicks Nuts.
I grab Laz after Nut kick.
And is going to try and just phase through all of these, use her heroing.
This is definitely going to require some pops.
Can I
Yeah.
help? I can't help.
So, no, unfortunately, you can't help.
My power
This
wouldn't help in
is
situation.
going to be interesting.
It's good that you're doing this fast, and Coop doesn't realize what you're doing, but he's going to be upsetty spaghetti afterwards.
So we're doing-
Yeah,
I just
last
want you
time
to know,
just
I have phasing as one of my fears.
Okay.
that is super fair.
I mean,
Drama for everybody.
so setting the DC, that's going to be a high degree of control required. So +4 to DC.
You can do it, Em.
You are
We believe in you.
This is something that is untried. I take that back. You have done this a couple times because you phased
Yeah.
through people.
Mhm.
So we'll call you
And it's worked
practiced.
fine.
So
She
that's
phased a
pl-
motherfucker into a chair.
This is a
Death.
+2, so we're at 6. How much does this break the rules of the universe? You're not affecting the universe itself per se. That's a +0. The scope is large, so that's going to be a +6. So it's going to be a DC 12, rolling D6s to try to beat that.
Okay.
You can do it, Em. We believe in you.
So
How
one
many
at a
D6s
time.
do I have? 7?
You have up to
No.
You can
7,
roll
but
up
that
to
causes
7.
like
So
catastrophic shit.
the more you use, the more consequence that you have.
Okay. Got it. All right. Here we go. 5.
Here we go. Cool.
So 5
Good
on the
one.
first one.
Yeah. Then I got a 2. So 7.
7.
Oh, I got a 4, which is an 11.
Oh, come on now. One more.
Well, I'll roll one more. I got a 2, which is a 13.
Hey.
Okay, so you rolled
Nice.
4.
The star doesn't work for any of that.
No.
Not on power tokens.
Boo.
Forgot when we asked, but we did ask. I
Yeah.
think.
So you succeed. Jessica, you can go ahead and narrate as you grab your friends and phase through a total of 14 people.
Yeah, so immediately you see Jessica run as hard as she can. And
Trackstar.
yeah, she runs fast. This is canon. And she's literally just pulling along Rosie's pulling Laz and also pulling Coop as we just as like phasing through these people until all of a sudden we find ourselves at the other end of the hallway where Jessica yells, "Quick, run!"
And we do.
As
I do.
As an effect, you grabbed hold of Coop and Rosie, letting Rosie grab Laz. Which hand did you grab Coop with? Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, Coop. That was just on my mind. Sorry. Which hand?
Choose wisely.
Whoa.
Who did you grab with your right hand is what I meant to say.
I would think Coop, just on how I visualize
How
things
interesting
in my
that
head.
it's once again a right hand.
Oh,
as
I'm
you-
sorry.
As you pass through everybody and you get to the other side, you lose your grip on Coop.
No.
But Coop is fine. Coop made it through just fine. However, you have a physical consequence now because your right hand up to almost to your elbow is stuck mid-phase. You can see it. You can see it and it moves with you, but you can't physically touch anything with your right hand.
Oh, I thought it was stuck in a person.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought too.
No, you succeeded on what you were trying to
their
do.
organs.
This is just your consequence
Kalima.
from using the four power tokens. Sorry, you're just stuck with a ghost hand, basically.
Oh, with a guy. Just
So also, it is kind of appropriate that you have temporarily lost your right hand in a phasing accident.
Wow. Poetic justice.
very appropriate. I was kind of hoping that she would mess up again, but somehow that Coop would gain back a hand from
He would
like
grow
one
it.
of the,
Yeah, right.
he would just like accidentally phase. Anyway,
Get somebody else's
So-
hand.
As you say run and everybody takes off running down this hall, you do hear a couple of shots being fired after you. You also, Coop, glancing back, you see 4 of the soldiers trying to pull the triggers, and they're doing some kind of treatment to the weapon because the weapon's not firing.
It's paused.
And
Magnificent.
but as one of the guys that's closest to you is raising and has already taken a shot, or no, he's taking aim, and he's honing in and locking in on the back of Jessica's head. And as his finger pulls the trigger, the lieutenant commander's hand smacks the gun upward, and we hear the bullet hit the ceiling, take out a light, and a shower of sparks as the 4 of you disappear around a corner. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh, we are escaping. We are getting out of this bitch. Let's go.
My heart rate's up.
Like I said, one of these days I want like heart rate monitors on everybody. I want to know BBMs.
Oh man. All right, we're going to take a about a 10-minute break, and we will see you on the other side. And we're back. And standing in the middle of this room, next to an ice cream truck, is Oak. Billy, you don't get very far before you realize Oak, you just don't hear Oak's footsteps behind you anymore. And turning around, you see Oak standing about 50 feet behind you in the middle of the hallway, just staring back the way you came. Oak.
Oh, what's up?
Oak, you don't hear anything.
I don't hear anything.
You
I
don't hear Billy. What you
Billy?
hear
Okay.
is as the side of the ice cream truck goes, and a man puts a red and white straight stick in place to hold the window up.
Uh-huh.
He is wearing an all white, he looks like a good humor man. And he kind of looks like, well, actually the image that just 100% popped into my head and is now going to be what he looks like is this man looks like Bruce Campbell. 100% looks like 1980s Bruce Campbell. He looks like Ash.
I love this.
As he looks out, kind of leans forward and goes, "Hey kid, what'll it be?"
And I imagine you got. He's very skeptical. You could see he's like walking up very gingerly to it. And then, is there a picture? Are there any pictures of
They're
like what
all
he
across
might
the
have?
side and underneath where he opened the window? There are pictures of the. In fact, the only thing you recognize is the Terrain Treats domain pops.
Mhm.
Everything else looks like delicious types of ice cream, but they're like things you've never seen before. There's a type of sundae that the whole container looks like a rocket ship, where each section of the rocket ship has a different flavor of ice cream.
Wow.
There's what looks like it's a banana split, but in addition to the scoops of ice cream and the bananas in this little sundae boat, you see what look like they're made out of pralines and cherries and other toppings. It looks like it's crewed by an entire war band of Vikings. You see just all kinds of bizarre looking flavors of ice creams that are shaped like things. There's an ice cream that looks like it's just like a flat ice cream thing that just has a couple different flavors in it to look very much like it's a profile view of Templeton. There's a green one that's at least 3 times as big as the other ones that looks like James. All of these things are very bizarre, and none of them have prices listed under them.
Wow.
Feel free to describe something that stands out to you as in the same vein as what I've been describing.
Okay, I think can I, you know what, call back to season 1. Can I get I want there to be an ice cream pop that is essentially a wizard's cap. Right? I want there to be an ice cream pop that's a wizard's cap, and then enough of the little gumball pop things in them that like represent the stars. So it's like gumball stars that are inside this purple ice cream pop looking thing.
I'll do you one better.
Yeah.
It's a wizard's hat, but the bowl is the wizard's hat. And the little stars and the moons and everything are edible, but they're inside this clear plastic wizard's hat. And all within it are it's Michigan, so there's Superman ice cream in there, which has Blue Cow, and it has all these other different colors and flavors. So that's like this
Superman
rainbow explosion. There's sprinkles all over the place. There's some kind of a gummy candy that looks like starburst flying out, almost like spell effects coming out of the hat. We call that one Fantasia.
I would love that, please. Can I have that, please?
You absolutely can have Fantasia. But the ice cream desserts that I sell here, they're not like your treats you get up there or out there in the world. These ones are unique.
Okay.
The very best ice cream, the very best toppings, the finest craftsmanship has gone into this unique dish. But before you can have it, I need to know what it is that you want it to do. Are you looking to grow 3 inches taller? Do you wish that you were a year older or a year younger? You want that certain someone to just pay a little extra attention to you in math class? Maybe you've got somebody you haven't seen in a long time, and you're hoping to see them again. Maybe you've got an uncertain future, and you want to solidify that. Any of these things can be yours with Fantasia, if you're willing to pay the price.
Okay, sir, I'm 12. Do I have to decide now? Can I have the ice cream now and then decide later? Or can I... Is it like a now
Surely
thing?
they've taught you basic economics in school, kid. You gotta pay if you're gonna enjoy your treat. Now, depending on what it is that you hope to gain from this, It might cost you your middle name. It might take the color of your eyes.
Oh.
I may
okay.
take your first love.
Oh.
I may
okay.
take the first great thing that happens to you.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I know what I want. I know what I want. I would like. I don't know, it sounds stupid because it's something super simple. You know what I've always wanted, like this whole time? My friends and I have been running around like crazy in these iterations, and we're fighting, and everybody's going all which ways, and all I really ever wanted to do since I started here, and I know it's silly telling a ice cream man my life story, but all I really want to do is play D&D with my friends. That's literally all I want to do, man. And we get no time to do that. We're running around like everywhere. And I don't get a chance to hang out with any of them. Or, like, I barely get to know anybody. Really, like, deeply. And these are my best friends. But I'd like to get a chance to just relax, get to know them, and spend more time with them.
Roll me a D100.
You got it.
Dude, I've almost got a bingo. So many touchstones are happening.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. I don't know if that's good or bad, but 88.
Hey, the best year on record.
1988, baby. Let's go.
I'm looking at a 98, and that's close enough for me. As you say this man's looking at you, and he's got both hands on the counter, and he's kind of leaning in. That is an incredibly, of all the things that I've heard, that has got to be one of the most selfless and endearing things that I have heard. And he kind of steps back, and you see inside, just over his shoulder on the counter, squeezed between the front wall of the truck and one form of ice cream machine, is the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Player's Handbook, the Unearthed Arcana, the Monster Manual, the Fiend Folio. He's got like everything for the current edition of D&D, a couple other books. I'll tell you what, kid. You can have Fantasia. And the only thing I'm going to take from you is this. In a form of payment. When you and your friends get together and you finally play that game of D&D, can I play?
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. What's your name? Or am I... Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Because this feels real... Am I allowed to ask that?
What should I call you?
Smart thinking,
Yeah, what
kid.
should I call you?
Smart
There you
thinking,
go.
kid. But I ain't no Rumpelstiltskin. Unfortunately, I gave up my name a long time ago. All you have to do is agree to invite me to that D&D game. Whenever it should happen, I'll be there.
Okay. He kind of extends his hand out to not only take the ice cream, but to also shake this ice cream man's hand. Also, I kind of want to know if he's physically real, because up until this point, it's a ghost ice cream truck.
As you reach out your hand, and we see this sort of this medium shot, looking sort of down the length of the truck as you're holding your hand up to shake hands with him. And there's a moment of hesitation when suddenly his hand shoots out and firmly grasps your hand and shakes it up and down. And with a quickness, with his other hand, he just brings out this fully created, though he did nothing to prepare it. And this thing is the size of a wizard's hat. Filled
Can
with
he wear the
ice
hat
cream.
when he's done with the ice cream?
It's fully wearable ice cream hat. Or wizard hat, ice cream bowl. And suddenly it's in your hand, and he's reaching over, grabbing the stick, shutting the door, and as soon as the door goes down, he's in the driver's seat, and he looks at you and he goes, "Looking forward to rolling some dice with you, kid. Welcome to Paradise, Michigan." The music starts up, and all of a sudden you blink and you're standing in the hallway holding this Fantasia ice cream as Billy is saying your name from just behind you. And Billy, when he turns around to you, he's holding a wizard's hat full of Superman ice cream and all kinds of confections. It's this most literally magical thing. Your D100 roll, by the way, was called Ice Cream Dreams. A mysterious ice cream truck appears around the corner playing ethereal music. And basically you're offered exotic flavors with unique properties, but you have to give up something special. But you rolled really well.
Yeah.
That's also one that's relatively high on the table. So it had, it didn't have sinister overtones. So.
Okay. Well, dude, that was so good. I'm so happy with this.
Where the hell did you get that?
I own a ice cream man who I'm almost 100% sure is a Fey being. I owe an ice cream man a D&D game, and that's all I'll say.
What is Fey?
Oh, right. Like fairies or
okay.
Yeah, like that.
So like pointed ears and wings and.
Well, I don't think I couldn't see under the hat, but if he did have pointed ears or wingy thingies or whatever, they were hiding them. But I tell you what, he's a cool dude, and I'm going to invite him to our D&D game.
Bruce Campbell is a Fey creature. I love it.
He is an eldritch being, sir.
Absolutely. He's timeless.
He is a timeless warlock patron. Okay.
I just imagine the next time that we see Coop. Or sorry, dang it!
Yes! Hey! Dang it! It happened.
Did I give you a bingo?
No, but I now have 3
excited.
ways to make a bingo.
The next time that you see Oak, I just imagine it's Billy and Oak coming around a corner, and he's just got ice cream all over his face, all down his front, and the hat is empty, and he's just like wanting to put it on his head so bad because
sticky. Don't do it.
I've got 2 spoons, okay? I've got 2 spoons. I hand Billy a spoon, and we're just sharing. Because sharing is caring. I hand Billy a spoon and be like, I can't finish all this.
I will have some, but we need to get back to looking for friends, because as far as Billy's concerned, Rosie and Laz are still in danger.
So like Winnie the Pooh, like just carrying a honey pot, like Oak's got
fun fact.
The pot in his hand.
This Fantasia ice cream hat still has a little bit to give. You are able to eat the whole thing. You do not get a tummy ache. You do not even once get an ice cream headache. And as you get to the last remnants of ice cream, and it's a little difficult because they're all gathering the melted bits of ice cream and some of the the candy toppings and stuff that you didn't already eat. They're sort of gathering in the bottom. This hat has one more gift to give. As you scoop up some of this almost liquid ice cream, you pull up a D12.
It's like a cracker
No, don't roll a
Jack
D12.
box.
You pull up a D12. And then you pull up a D4. And a D10. Now this is the 80s, so there's only 6 dice. There's not 2 D10s. But you pull up 6 individual dice. Each one of them is a different color. They don't match the colors of the original Gygax dice.
I was just gonna ask.
So make a note that for each of your 6 dice, and this is actually primarily what you're getting, so falling right within the range on the D100 roll originally. Each one of your stats, at a moment of your choosing, 1 time will automatically explode.
Nice.
Once you use it, it's
huge.
gone. So that's what each of these dice represent. So when you want it to, boom, it explodes and then it's gone. That die will vanish.
So
Save that 6 for your
You just
superpower.
say, okay, I'm supposed to roll a d6. It's going to explode. So you start off with a 6 and then roll.
Start off with a 6, you roll again.
And then
start
that
with-
6
Or-
in his physical dice set
Or
disintegrates.
you could roll a d6, and if you rolled, say, a 2, you could go, you know what, I want to use my magic d6. Boom, automatic
Immediately get a
explosion.
6. Yep.
And then you can roll again. However
Oh,
you
that's
want to
cool.
use those.
That is potent, my friend.
So,
That's badass.
we see Billy and Oak heading off down the corridor. Billy trying to figure out where to go. And Oak is desperately, not desperately, but is eagerly, is the word I wanted, eating up this ice cream. So that sight that I described of Oak holding this empty ice cream smeared wizard hat with ice cream all over his face and down his front is the first thing that Laz, Rosie, Coop, and Jess see as they come around the corner and almost run into Billy and Oak. You are all, for the first time in a while,
Together.
you are all reunited.
The power of friendship.
But
It's
are we?
happening. I look and I'm like, oh my god, guys. I mean, I would ask if you came to rescue us, but you look a little preoccupied. And I look at Oku and his fucking ice cream face.
This is a speed bump. I'm sorry. Things happened and I got hurt and I needed a refuel. So this is a refuel. Okay. Don't judge me. I gotta eat.
I look at Laz and I look at Jess and know the fucking actual prison bullshit we've been through. And I'm like, I'm glad you're enjoying your ice cream. Did you come in the door? Because we need to find a way out and we don't know how to get out.
He just
Do
points
we know the
behind
way
me.
out?
We're literally in a hallway that could lead directly out.
All right, but
So
we can catch up. We're all together. Let's get out now.
Yeah, we got like 20 army guys right behind us. So anytime.
20?
Yeah,
Oh.
there was a bunch. We gotta go.
Oh, Oak, take point, and I'll head
Yeah.
to the back.
yeah. Running down the hallway with a half full like
I'm supposed to find Jake the original, though.
Oh God, fuck. Okay. Coop, try your mind thing again. Can you do it? Can you do it twice?
Yes, but I don't see why not.
Try again, real quick.
He tries again.
You can push it if you want.
Sure, why not?
That's going to be power tokens.
Don't forget to use pops. Use pops.
I
can't
can't
use-
if it's a
you can't.
power.
They're power tokens.
Oh, Oh, I forgot. You're right.
So this is going to be because of the distance, the degree of control is high, +4. You are very practiced at this, so +2 makes it a 6. You're not breaking the universe, so +0. The scope is because of the size of this place. This is the rub. You don't know exactly how big the Nexus Laboratories is. So we're at a +6. I am going to make this be extra large, making this a DC 16. That's a
Good
plus
lord.
10 for the size. Because of the size of the complex, and you have absolutely no idea. So you're going to sit there and you're going to focus. You need to beat a 16
Yeah,
with your D6s.
Math says you will probably make it. Odds are in your
but
favor.
I don't want to. I'm not reckless like y'all are. I'm not going to spend all 7 fucking dice.
I
to
believe
try
in
to do
playing this
this.
game wisely.
If you get at least one explosion, you could do it in 3 dice.
Okay, well, what is it? Since Jake's egging me on, I'm totally going to try this. But before he does, Coop goes, okay, I'm going to try. I have a feeling this might not go well. So in case I die, Rosie, hold on to these. And I hand her the skeleton keys.
Why the fuck? What the fuck are all of these?
Oh, those are keys that work with the green doors with the brass handles. And all you have to do is think about where you want to be. And then you pop the key in and it takes you there.
Of course she has keys.
Okay.
Why not just pop the skeleton key in the door and say we want to go to the person you're looking for?
Because I have a D4 for brains. This is why we need
you know
you.
what?
With the dice.
That works in world as a phrase to say. I have a D4 for brains.
Wow.
Coop's a
Okay.
lovable little dummy now.
All right.
Oh, where's the nearest green door?
You left them behind. The last green doors you saw were in the hallway with all the soldiers.
Beans. Well, wait a second. What if we leave? This'll probably work on a different green door.
Maybe.
All right, so are we leaving or are we not?
Okay, we can go. I'm sorry.
All right, do we know how far back the exit door is?
I mean, you just have the long tunnel. You got maybe
It's like
based on
25 feet, maybe, right?
Well, no, it's you guys went a little further along
Okay.
than that. It's more like there's a good 10 minutes or so of walking
Oh, yeah.
down this
okay.
long tunnel.
All right, what is the walls of this place made of?
Cement. All along the
Stupid.
ceiling on one side of the wall are where there's like water pipes and sewage pipes and stuff like
Stupid
that.
question. Billy wants to, take a second to look at these walls and say, if I turn into a werewolf, can I make a rubble pile and block these guys from coming in, or would that be just way too much work?
This looks like a lot of work.
Okay.
This is a constructed stone, more likely than not reinforced walls.
Sure. I as Ted, look at this as a gamified
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and I've seen way too many, werewolf things. Well, they just tear things apart. So I don't know to what level my destructive capabilities are. So I figured I would just...
I will say, because I did say there are sewage and water pipes that run along the wall, you could conceivably use your strength to tear down or tear at select pipes and cause classic 80s trope, cause water or steam or shit.
You might notice that Coop's holding a crowbar in his little mitten.
Oh my
absolutely.
God.
Coop has a crowbar.
Yes, he does.
All right, well then, I'm gonna, try to see if I can, send them, moving on ahead, and I'm gonna see if I can make a hazard for our pursuers.
Nice.
Okay. Are you actually going to turn into a werewolf, or are you going to try to do it with the crowbar?
Oh, I'm gonna turn into a werewolf.
So this will require power tokens because you've never tried to transform deliberately.
I have done it once before.
When did you do it before?
After we got back. Pretty sure.
I don't know why I don't remember that. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying I don't remember.
I could be remembering wrong, but I was pretty sure that I willingly turned into a werewolf before.
I think I do remember. I gave you a low DC for degree of control because you'd been practicing with your
I remember that.
mom and grandma, so that's a +1. Your practice is a +3. And what you're trying to do, it's there you go. That was a 1, 2, 3. It's a DC 5.
Four and a 2.
So using 2, yeah, the only side effects you get from this is because you're a little unpracticed at your transformations, they hurt. The forcefully shifting your bone structure and all that is painful. But it's so slight, it's a minor. You're not going to have much in the way of a physical consequence. I would say, in sticking with the rules that I set down, so it is listed as a physical consequence. We'll say for the next in-game hour, which, as we all know, could be the next 3 sessions. You have a physical consequence. So, yeah, you're able to rip down. I got to know which ones do you rip?
You said there's sewer and water.
Yep.
Both.
And inexplicably steam. Because it's 80s.
Sure. So I'll tear into all of them. Try to, like, if I have full narrative control, I'll try to, like, bend them in different paths to kind of send it all going in the direction of where the people will be coming from.
Yeah, you set up a nice little hazard.
Nice.
And everybody else has taken off down the hall, and you need to get heading back quickly because the sewage is starting to spread and the smell is foul. As the rest of you are heading towards the end of this hallway, though,
I am significantly faster as a werewolf than I am a person.
So fast.
As you're all heading towards the exit, Oak, you swear when about the time you can see the door, still probably a couple hundred yards away, you swear you see that same flash of light as the portal that Spoke used when he vanished.
Ooh.
And when you all get to the end of the hallway, all of your bikes are inside the door at the end of the hallway, and Laz's skateboard is propped up against the wall next to Rosie's bike.
Oh my god. I tell Laz to hop onto my spokes. We gotta get out fast.
And as you all head outside, it's the middle of the afternoon, bright sunlight on a September day in, I believe it's a Sunday. Sunday in September. You head outside, you get on your bikes, and you begin to pedal the trails. Billy and Oak warn you, they take you around away from where those weird looking trench coat wearing people in the 1981 Dodge something, I forget. Intruder?
Dodge.
It's in the notes. And we see you all riding off towards Paradise. We're going to cut back into the Nexus facility. As we see you all riding away, the camera kind of ducks below ground. And we see inside an office, we see Lieutenant Commander Adkins as Ashley Raven says, "Don't touch anything. Just stand there." Lieutenant Commander Adkins is half covered in sewage. His uniform is soaked. You can see out in the hallway all of his guards. Some of them are like completely... It's a disgusting disaster. And Ashley just walks to her desk and she reaches in and she pulls out some kind of a fancy linen handkerchief and just goes... That one little spot of something that got on her suit. That could have gone better. But could have gone worse too. You leave the kids alone. Especially the Stapler kid. Focus on the Van Houtens and the rest of those creatures. Don't worry about the Staplers, they are off limits, as are the rest of the kids. He kind of stands looking at her, he nods, and then she says, "Go take a shower, and then do it again and again. You're dismissed." As Lieutenant Commander leaves and he transfers some of that rage onto his soldiers, barking orders at them in the hallway, she turns to a corner of the room where Principal Sherry Gunnarsson is sitting. Sherry also shows no signs of having been injured. She's cleaned up, wearing a pretty typical pantsuit like she would wear to school.
I did take a 100% cut into her fucking lumbar region, I will remind you.
Yeah, she shows no
remains.
signs.
She's fucking healed.
She shows no signs of injury. As she steps forward and Ashley Raven says, "Go back to school and do your job. Raise your daughter as best she will allow you. There's a chance that they are going to willingly forget this. We've done nothing to ensure that. Let them take their tests. Let them get in trouble and do detention. Let them play sports. Let them be kids. Don't do anything unless I specifically give you orders. Is that understood?" Sherry looks annoyed and then kind of straightens herself up and says, "Understood." She turns and she walks out of the office. And as she walks out of the office, from the wall behind her, a section of the wall, the paneling opens up. It's one of those, if you had looked, you'd see that there was a door there, but the door is covered over in paneling, so it kind of blends in. And out of there steps Vice Principal Dr. Devin Sharp.
Oh my god, this prick.
Keep an eye on her. Make sure she does her job. Make sure she leaves the kids alone. You keep an eye on them, but do nothing. And if our principal gets out of line, well, take care of it and consider it a promotion. He nods and steps forward and then says, "What about the detectives?" "No. Don't worry about them. Leave them alone. Give them a long leash. Let them think that they have full reign. They can talk to the kids. But I've got my eye on them." Dr. Devin Sharp, the vice principal, turns and walks out of the office, leaving Ashley Raven alone in her office. She stands there at the desk, not moving for a moment. She's got her fingertips sort of splayed out as she kind of leans very slightly against the desk. She closes her eyes, and for a moment she's just standing there, and suddenly, for just a split second, it's as if a shadowy version of Ashley Raven suddenly separates from her from the waist up and just goes and snaps right back into place.
Oh, holy shit!
And she opens her eyes. And
That's
where
the
we're
crazy
ending
Persephone,
tonight's
dude.
session.
That's crazy Persephone trying to get out, bitch. Oh no.
Oh, that wasn't Persephone. That looked nothing like Persephone. This
It
was
just
shadowy.
her. Just shadow.
This was pure
Ashley.
shadow. Yeah, I think some Venom shit. That's probably the closest way to describe it. Yeah, ended a little bit earlier, but I kind of felt like we needed a minute for everybody to breathe. I wanted to make it clear that narratively, at least from the third person's perspective. So I wanted you guys to know that essentially the world is giving you all a chance to breathe.
To go to school and do sports.
Yeah, go to school, do stuff. As far back as I'll peel the curtain is, this is your chance that you've been waiting so long for, to sit down, build a conspiracy board, figure out where everybody's been, what they've been up to, start solving mysteries, figure out what's important. You got a couple new side quests from the sound of it. Make a plan, and this is going to be starting to get a little bit more like the beginning of the season, where you guys are going to school and doing some things, and
as long as we don't blow anybody up, we can be normal kids for a bit.
Yeah, I will have to have a private talk with Jeremy. Hey, don't be a dick with your lightning, bud.
I imagine there's some conversations with Billy and Jess that need to happen.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
There's a lot of
So,
conversations that need to happen.
honestly, I think to give you guys something to prepare for,
Homework?
this is very minor homework. You only have to message me if you have something very specifically after I tell you. You have I think the smartest play here is to give you guys the rest of your Sunday afternoon to just have a chance to talk to one another. So at least probably half of the next session will be you guys catching up on stuff. And then depending on how long that, I say half, which means it could be the whole session. But the intention is that come Monday morning, you guys will start school fresh and new, and we'll go from there. So unless you have specific requests or questions for me, just plan on that.
Great.
It's as close as you're going to get to a beach day is right now. Is
Shopping episode.
we don't get beach days here. We get
for Billy.
this says something that your form of relief here in this world is to go to school.
Go to school. Oh, thank God.
Also,
wood shop.
a side note, because we teased this way back in the first iteration. At some point, maybe as a form of, and this could even be what Oak's interlude is I want Chad / Oak to run a D&D game for where each of you will play your character playing a D&D character. And since I don't have a character, and Claire certainly isn't going to play D&D with you nerds.
Thanks, Claire.
Bitch.
The unnamed Bruce Campbell Ice Cream Man will be played by me playing a D&D character.
Oh, what a great
Oh,
idea.
I love it so much.
I hadn't even
so
thought
excited.
about D&D in so long, and when you mentioned that being what your wish was, and I was like, oh man, that's the little element to make sense for me to be able to be a player in that.
That's
Dude.
the little nugget.
Yeah,
baby.
we're gonna
Let's
make
go.
this happen as late,
Yeah.
probably either it's probably gonna end up being as we come out to the December break. It's gonna be what my guess
Okay.
is.
That sounds great.
so-
That gives me some time to
So
think.
yeah, start thinking about that and planning something on the side. And I
tell you-
believe in Discord you can start threads, so you
Yep.
could, as a sub of one of our things, do that. So
I'm
with that,
very excited about this.
with that, as we're quickly dipping into post game chatter here, we will where to go here? We'll go ahead and do our outros as we. I'm vamping while I'm trying to do something. I'm vamping very terribly. We will first off say thank you as always to I love seeing this new thing that Twitch is doing where you can see people's watch streaks. Thanks for the bits, all that good stuff. As we have our sub goal is at 38 of 50. I forgot to mention at the beginning. Our next game is going to be in September, and September is Subtember. Twitch has discounts on subs and gift subs and all that good stuff, so keep that in mind. Speaking of raids, we haven't done this in a while, so I think we are going to raid a fellow MTD person. Looks like formerly known as Emily is playing some Baldur's Gate 3. So as I say, thank you to everybody in the chat. As always, I love seeing all the interaction, seeing everybody hanging out there and the discussions and the theorizing and all that stuff. It's awesome. Uh-oh, did they change something with this?
Probably. It's been a minute.
I don't
Jake is
recognize
figuring
it.
stuff out. Check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we got all kinds of great ads and stuff, and like shirts and hoodies and stickers and mugs and all kinds of other great stuff with our logos on it. Teespring.com. Just search Mini Terrain Dome Wayne or follow
It
the
should
link
just
below.
be /
got
and then the
it.
name
I
of
got
the
it.
channel.
I got it. They just
Or
changed the
/
interface.
raid.
Yep.
Indeed.
So, and with that, I will say a final awesome thank you to all of these amazing players: Chad, Tamiko, Carrie, Ted, Greg, for one final appearance through audio. And though he was not with us, he was with us in spirit, Jeremy, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream. You can say it with me if you want.
Oh my god, I got a pee so bad.